So, today I was very excited to come here and tell you about the restock of our The Gays Can Do Whatever They Want shirts. The problem is we hadn't announced them yet and they still almost entirely sold out. So we went to all the effort of getting a bit of orange here, so Justin didn't give me shit about wearing green on the green screen. We brought in Kimberly Spirit to do you can stop now, they're almost all gone. But no, actually don't worry about it because we're going to be doing pre-sales on them. So if you go to thejimquisition.com and look at them, there are still some available, possibly in your size. Go have a look. But even if they're not, like, we are restocking quickly. They're selling out so much. They're selling out so much.
The gays know what they want.
The gays know what the gays want. Would you buy that, what we just said, on a shirt? We'll sell you anything, gays. Gays, we will sell you anything.
Justin better make a plastic.
Folks, if you head on to thejimquisition.com, we sell all sorts of fun merch and we are restocking these as soon as possible. So if you want to like reserve them, we'll have a pre-sale period this time. We'll get in as many as we can, or as many as we need. So yeah, go and get your gay shirt and be gay.
Keep making more gays. I don't know what that means.
We can't pump the gays out fast enough, folks. Here's a story you might not have heard about since so few people seem to fucking care, but marginalized creators on Twitch TV are learning that for all the grandstanding and performative nods to diversity and representation, Twitch really doesn't give a single solitary fuck about anybody in a vulnerable position on its platform. Wait, I wrote in the script that we're learning that Twitch doesn't give a fuck. Sorry, that's inaccurate. We knew. We're just having it confirmed again. Twitch, which takes a full 50% cut from a Twitch streamer's revenue, has been ignoring a widespread hate campaign on its service, putting streamers at risk and rendering the site practically unusable for many. On Twitch, channels can raid other channels after their stream is ended, sending all their viewers and chat users to another person's stream. The idea is for streamers to boost viewership for their friends and favourites, and of course on Twitch's end it just keeps people locked into the engagement that has become the #1 obsession across online media. The problem is, the concept of the raid has always been easily weaponized in order to harass and abuse others. The hate raid, as it's known, typically involves a dickhead with a fanbase of abusive dickheads sending said dickheads to a target's channel in order to spam the chat and be dickheads. It's a shitty thing for anyone to have to deal with, obviously, but lately the situation has gotten completely out of control. Hate raids have gotten automated, with an army of bots now queued up to completely drown a Twitch channel's chat in racist, misogynistic, homophobic, transphobic bullshit. Pretty much anybody who isn't a cis straight white guy is getting dogpiled by bots that have gotten around content filters and are using Twitch's relatively new visibility tags to find targets. I've been personally subjected to this hate raid shit myself, though my particular experience highlights the sheer lack of fucking imagination transphobes have. During a stream recently, my chat was completely overtaken by dozens and dozens and dozens of bots telling me I'd never be a woman, which... okay. Tell the NB, who explicitly says they're not a woman nor wants to be, that they'll never be a woman. Fucking idiots. The abusive sentiment itself may be pathetic, but it's nonetheless exhausting to have to deal with, and it's disruptive to the broadcast as streamers and their moderators have to drop everything to deal with it. And not all streamers are lucky enough to have moderators, especially the smaller ones who are forced to deal with wave after wave of harassment on their own. And aside from simply trying to insult and offend people who aren't scum, one of the main points of this whole thing is to exhaust people, to divert their attention and give them a shit ton of work to do. But ultimately, of course, the overarching goal is the same as it's always been for the right-wing, gamer-gating, hateful little boys to drive marginalized voices out of gaming, out of online spaces, and to populate these spaces with unchallenged and unchallenging white guys. I mean, populate the space more than it already is. Exclusively, in fact. because they can't handle literally a single different person. Other creators such as Pleasantly Twisted and Cypher of Tyr have been dealing with so much of this and have been incredibly vocal about their experiences because of course they've been. They're being mobbed by racist pieces of shit en masse to the point where they can't interact with their usual viewers. Pleasantly Twisted showcased she dealt with 3 hours of hate raids over a 4.5-hour stream, unable to play any games because of the utter shit she was dealing with. Users are being doxxed, personally targeted, Nazi imagery and genitalia are being spammed, and it's been going on for fucking weeks. People of colour and trans people are being especially singled out for abuse. Those being attacked are doing their best to draw attention to the issue. Wreck-It Raven instigated a hashtag campaign, Twitch Do Better, and many creators plan to take part in A Day Off Twitch, a boycott planned for September 1st, but so far these efforts to draw attention to the issue are failing to gain the traction they deserve. Because the sad reality is that nobody outside of the marginalised creators give that much of a shit. Black women in particular have been leading the pushback and the discussion about these hate raids, and they're being ignored at best and commonly talked over and pushed back against. After weeks of abuse, there have been a few articles, but mostly the more privileged members of the gaming community, especially top-level creators who could have at least spoken up, have simply not bothered. They're not affected by this, so they don't fucking care. We spoke with Pleasantly Twisted to get her view on the situation, and yeah, that's what we did. Please, take it away, Pleasantly Twisted.
For years on end, marginalized creators have been yelling at Twitch about hate raids, harassment, doxing, inappropriate imagery, stalking, and a plethora of other egregious issues to little to no response. This is the same reactionary company that refused to implement tags because we don't see your identity as content, only to then eat crow and implement them anyway after LGBTQIAP+ developers took the issue into their own hands. Part of that reasoning was also, we think it will endanger you, which accidentally admits that they are aware their moderation is shit and they're making a conscious decision to do nothing about it. The part about the hate raids that's especially frustrating is honestly how poorly a lot of creators are handling it as well. One of the largest creators on the platform actually had the gall to say in the 8 years that they've been here, they've never seen hate raiding to this degree. And it was only a year and a half ago that we all watched as a trans woman creator was bullied off the platform via harassment, doxing, bot raids, hate raids, and to this day, death threats. The biggest salt in the wound for that is that the person in question is part of the Twitch Safety Council. So if they're not willing to even protect someone that they supposedly hired to address things like this, why should we believe that they're invested in protecting communities that are 1/5 of that size?
Twitch itself has simply refused to give a shit. In response to all of this, the company has chosen to not. For the longest time, the company has preferred radio silence, only speaking up to say it's looking into things. The silence is actually fucking astounding. These hate raids demonstrate that it's easy to make hundreds and hundreds of bot accounts. There aren't sufficient security checks to stop that from happening. It's simply easy to raid into someone's channel and dogpile them with spammed abuse. It's simply incredibly easy for widespread doxing to occur on Twitch's turf, and Twitch has done less than nothing. That this happened at all is fucking pitiful on Twitch's end. Hell, a streamer who won't be named because fuck 'em has even taken credit for the hate raids, and whether or not they're telling the truth, nothing's been done. They're claiming to be responsible for mass widespread harassment, and they still get to stream on the platform without so much as an investigation. Fact of the matter is, Twitch TV is dangerous right now. It's not safe to use for many streamers. Aforementioned streamer and friend of the show, Cypher of Tyr, also joined us for a discussion of the situation, and I'm terrible at intros. Cypher, please.
Why is this so difficult? Why is it so very difficult to get to where we can go live without 50, 100, 1,000 bots showing up, calling me every variation of the N-word, telling me to go back to Africa, saying that my head should get twisted off. And again, people have been bot rated before, they've been hate rated, but this is ramped up. This is very intentional. This is targeted. This shouldn't be happening to begin with. No one should be able to circumvent your security this fucking easily. Hopefully it's okay to swear. to where they can multiple times in one stream send hundreds or thousands of bots, either with a username, mocking someone's username. And by the way, they've done it to the point where the real person that they're mocking or spoofing, their channel got banned, but not the person making all these bots. Make that make sense for me, Twitch. I really need to understand that. Twitch needs to do better. The creators that can make a difference should be speaking up about this. And also stop repackaging what the Black and queer folks have already been saying and getting brownie points for it. Because we see you. We see you, the people that literally said, I've been on this platform X number of years and this has never been an issue. Did you know that Twitch has tools? Yes, we know that Twitch has tools, we use them. The person or people behind these hate raids is aware of those tools and has done everything they can to circumvent them, which is why I've now got 5 VODs I can't really use because it was bot raid, hate raid o'clock. And while I didn't give them the reaction they wanted, I wasn't even on camera for all those. It still disrupted my day and gave me extra work to do and my mods extra work to do. So whether or not you take a day off Twitch, whether or not you are even aware that hate raids are a thing, go educate yourselves, go look at what's happening in the greater world of Twitch and support people. And if you want to sub off Twitch, follow those creators, see if they've got Coffee, Patreon, Fan House, OnlyFans, whatever it is they do. If there's a way to support them off of Twitch, because honestly, the only way is going to see a change is if it affects the bottom line of the company, which a whole lot of us would have to take our subs and our money off and views off. So TLDR, hate raids suck. I hate the fact that I've now doubled my checklist. I fully anticipate a hate raid every time I go live. And this is now a day ending in Y every day I hit go live on Twitch, and I hate it. And I need Twitch to take action sooner than later. Then we're working on something that'll be ready in months. In months, a lot of us won't be here. And then the landscape will be very pale, very boring, and very homogenous, which is what the hate raiders want. So if you can, stay on the platform, keep your community where they are. And thanks for a chance to talk about this, Commander. I salute you.
Maybe I shouldn't be surprised that Twitch, which again takes 50% of a streamer's earnings, didn't give a fuck until it put out a weak statement a week ago. I mean, it's owned by Amazon, a company that won't let its staff have adequate toilet breaks. Jeff fucking Bezos sent himself to space to play fucking astronaut rather than use his billions and billions of dollars to do anything to help this failed nation of debt and medical trauma. Twitch made a big deal out of the visibility tags it implemented earlier in the year, tags for sexualities, genders, even some mental health ones such as the ADHD tag I use, because people need to know why my streams are erratic and hard to follow and shit. But protecting these people who use them, now that's not been a priority. These tags are being used to find marginalized creators and target them, and while others have suggested we just don't use those tags, fuck that shit. Visibility is vital. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Visibility matters. Visibility when I was growing up would have saved me decades of pain. It was only after I'd gotten to see other non-binary trans femmes that I knew who I was, who I wanted to be, what was even possible. Since my own coming out, many people have written to tell me that they questioned their own identity or steeled enough nerve to come out themselves after seeing me. To suggest we bury our visibility by not using our tags is no fucking solution. It's what I just said it is. It's burial. It's capitulating nonsense to say we should change how we do things. People of color, queer people, the neurodivergent all have a right to be who they are and proudly show who they are without horrifyingly wide-scale attacks as a result. And we shouldn't have to police our own shit to this level. This is a clear-cut example of a company running an unsafe environment and doing absolutely fuck all to make it safe. On top of all this, the tools Twitch provides simply aren't adequate. If you put your chat into subscriber-only mode, you damage the precious engagement Twitch itself prizes, only hurting yourself in the process. And visibility on Twitch for marginalized people is hard fucking enough as it is. Banning keywords means pretty much nothing when bots are getting around filters and creating so many workarounds that safety tools can't keep up. Twitch simply hasn't done enough. The current safety tools aren't enough, and nobody should be in a position where they've got inadequate tools to deal with widespread harassment. Twitch has put out a statement of words, just words. They want an open and ongoing dialogue about creator safety. You know, I don't want an ongoing dialogue so much as I want companies like Twitch to stop being so fucking reactive, or at least not be so slow to react and useless in that reaction as to practically have zero fucking reaction. It promises tools, vague, nebulous tools, when the only tools here are the ones running the fucking site. Meanwhile, Twitch will continue to operate as normal, continue to take half a streamer's money, continue to run an environment so toxic a terminal attention seeker like myself is terrified of the idea of even being on Twitch's front page. I don't want the abuse that comes with that. Have you seen what happens? Twitch's mainstream chatters are, without the help of bots, fucking vile and disgusting. Just watch how they react like chattering fuckbugs the moment a non-cis white guy appears on an E3 or video game awards stream. It's fucking grotesque, and Twitch has done nothing but coddle it. Twitch didn't respond to these raids until they reached such a scale they couldn't be ignored, and now it has an avalanche of sheer seething hatred on its channel. When creating an online platform, you can't be reactive. We needed more from Twitch before any of this happened, and we didn't get it. We needed it in the weeks while it was happening, and we didn't get it. And now all we have is a company wringing its hands, sadly saying, we know we need to do more. Yeah? Do more, Twitch. Do fucking better. Because this is embarrassing, frankly. You should be embarrassed this ever happened. You should be embarrassed this is still happening. And the fact you aren't red-faced and ashamed of yourselves is fucking gross. Pricks.
In the company of Commander Sterling. Rejoice! That's not very good rejoicing now, is it? I said rejoice! Rejoice! What's wrong with you people? What's wrong with you? The greatest night of your life!
So yes, another shitty week, another shitty topic. I was meant to be doing wrestling this past weekend. That's actually why Kimberly was here. I said that maybe for this bit you'd want to step behind the camera, and then I just immediately mentioned you. So Kimberly, if you want to just go wave at the people, blow them kisses. Yeah, we were up to New York, and we're going to be up to no good doing the wrestling, and we got shut down, cops and everything. So we did a fundraiser this weekend for the money that was sunk into this show, Polyam Woodstock. And if you've followed my wrestling career, you'll know that the Polyam Cult Party shows are where I do like most of my stuff. It was a real bummer, but we did a fundraiser on my Twitch channel this weekend and raised over 200% what we wanted to get people out of the financial hole they were in. I just wanted to do something for MV Young, who is a tremendous wrestler and a friend and someone who's always had my back. We were on the string together with a whole bunch of other talent and Jimquisition friends, and mind-blowing. Yeah. So that was a really good thing done for indie wrestling in a weekend where a really shit thing happened to indie wrestling, and indie support is what we're all about. So thank you. And thank God for me, obviously. Thank you.